So, good morning everyone, good evening, and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzamos, and you're all welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new and narcissism resonates with you, of course in this channel I talk about narcissism, I talk about spirituality, self-development, personal development. And if any of that resonates with you, give us a like, guys, share with the friends, subscribe. And for those who've always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. So I've been having a quick walk today, this afternoon, and the subject came to my mind. And I would like to talk to the empaths, because most of you, I'm very sure most of you empaths, you can resonate with this. If you have been with a narcissist, you can very much remember everything. You remember each and everything in detail. You remember the amount of pain. You remember how much you endured when you're living with these individuals. You remember the degree of pain they put you through. Now, there's something I want to tell you guys something, because I know most of you on this channel, we have got empaths and we have got also super empaths. So most of you can relate with this, and you can know that the empath has got hidden abilities to endure a certain degree of pain. But you see, for us, the difference is that the reason why these guys choose us, they know. The reason why they choose us of all the individuals is because they know if we are with them, they can mess up as much as they want. They can destroy us as much as they want, but they always know we shall get back up and stand. And we'll always get back on our feet and stand up again. Well, some of the empaths have eventually gotten so many different kinds of situations. Even some of them have, some empaths who have even lost their lives. But most of the empaths, especially the super empaths, it does not matter how hard the narcissist tries to crush you, we always get back up and fight again. And this is one of the first things I told the ex-narc. That's when I was leaving. It was one of the first things I told her. I told her that actually you're dealing with somebody who is a very, very good fighter. So I'm a very good fighter if you don't know that. And I can always get myself back up and stand again. Now, in that time, the narcissist didn't know what I was talking about. But the empaths, the reason why these guys choose us, the narcissists choose us, this is because we have got that ability. We can take in a certain degree of pain. And because, remember guys, the narcissist is looking for somebody who can actually absorb that amount of pain, because they always know they're about pain, hurting and whatever. So they know what they're all about, and they need a person who can actually come into their lives, and they will start their abuse, because they know how their pattern works. So a person has got to come into their lives, they will start the abuse, and they know that person actually, because they know you are an empath or a super empath for this matter, you can always forgive them. You can always actually be passionate or compassionate with them. You can always stay there. You can always wait. So you can always take in all the BS that they bring along your way. So that's the reason why the narcissists, they choose empaths. We can understand that those individuals, most of the cases in the beginning of those entanglements and whatever, relationships or entanglements, most of the cases we know, these individuals, there's something missing. There's a missing link, and these individuals, they actually need help. And because most of the empaths, we are fixers. Most of us, we are people pleasers. We are fixers. That's by nature. That's the way it is, and nothing we can do about it. So we come in and try now to start to fixing somebody who secretly know they cannot even fix themselves, and they are unfixable. So nobody even. I've never heard of a success story of a narcissist that has been fixed. Yes, they have improved their lifestyle and their behavior, whatever. But eventually, I've not heard of a successful story of a narcissist that has been restored, or even sometimes a narcissist that has been fixed. So, the only thing the narcissist doesn't know is that at a certain point in time, we empaths, we have got that awakening moment. Most of the empaths, actually even most of the guys on this channel, we have got that moment of the moment of awakening, the moment where actually we snap and we wake up from this deep sleep. We finally understand that actually these individuals, there is nothing we'll ever do that will fix them. There's nothing we'll ever do that will help them. So most of the time, the empaths will wake up, and the very moment a super empath wakes up, that is the very moment they are ready to go. They can always pack their bags in that particular, whether it's night or day or whatever time it is, they can pack their bags and start moving. Now, for the narcissist, it becomes real. And I can guarantee you guys that the narcissist, they can never recover. If an empath ever walks out of a narcissist's life, because empaths, we stay with these individuals for years. I've heard about empaths who have stayed with the narcissist for 25 years, for 14 years, for 15 years. Now you're sacrificing your time, a big chunk of your life to somebody who even doesn't deserve any love for whatsoever, doesn't deserve even anybody. So most of the cases, the empaths, at some point in time, we get that awakening and we understand actually what exactly we're dealing with. So most of the cases, what will happen is that we snap, and at that particular moment, we're ready to get up, pack up our bags and whatever, and leave the vicinity. That is when now it becomes real for these individuals. You know what I mean? So what usually happens is that these guys, they will know that they have lost an empath. Because, like I've said in my videos, most of my videos I've said, the very moment you awaken, you start breaking the codes. Now, there are some of those emotional codes that the narcissist has used to trauma bond you. You know what I mean? So there's a very, very strong emotional attachment with them. Now, I'm not talking about healthy relationships. Also, in healthy relationships, you have got emotional connections with those individuals. But with the narcissist, it's actually called the trauma bond because it's a very toxic bond. You know what I mean? So the very moment you awaken, that bond starts to break. Now, when that bond breaks, that is when it becomes real for these individuals. That is when they know they have pushed the wrong button and they have reached a point of no return. So it becomes real for them. So what happens, I think I'll just be walking along this journey. So what happens with this is that it is going to be impossible, guys. Let me guarantee you this. It is going to be impossible for a narcissist to find a replacement. You cannot replace an empath. It is impossible to replace an empath. Yes, they are going to find people who may even sometimes try to look like you. They may try to do things like you. In this case, we're talking about the new supply. But most of the cases, it is very important to actually find a replacement, because most of the cases when the narcissists leave the empath, most of the cases they downgrade. You know what I mean? So what happens is that this is going to cause, the very moment the narcissist realizes that actually they have permanently lost an empath, this is when it is going to become extremely real for them. You know what I mean? Because they know you are not taking any other second chances. There are no maybe second, third, or I don't know, 10th chances or whatever, because we give these guys a lot of chances. But for the narcissist, it becomes real. And they can never recover, guys. I can guarantee you, when you ever know that you've left a narcissist and you have confirmed it in your mind that you've permanently left a narcissist, it is going to cause them a very massive injury, guys. Let me tell you this. For the most of you guys who have gone through divorces, who have been divorcing narcissists, or even sometimes have, let me find the proper way, who have been going through the divorce procedures with the narcissist, you know how deep an injury it can cause to the narcissist when they know finally that you have actually even signed out of that partnership. You know, leaving them is okay. You can pack your bags, you go. Even sometimes you can emotionally disconnect with them. But the very moment you put it on paper, you have signed even a divorce out of their lives. Guys, I can guarantee you that thing is very dangerous for a narcissist. It can cause them the biggest narcissistic injury they can ever imagine. And again, it does not matter. They may be with somebody new. Like they may be with the new supplier at that time. They may be seeing somebody new already. It does not make a difference, guys. I can guarantee you, when the empath is gone, that narcissist is going to suffer for the rest of their life. They will never find a replacement who is going to stay as, and they're just there waiting for them to be abused. You know what I mean? They can never find that kind of replacement. I'm talking about the super empath, who is going to tolerate that amount of BS. You know what I mean? So in this video, what I want to tell you guys, for the most of you the empaths who are out there, you've been struggling with these guys, these individuals, you have got to know, if you have left those guys, those individuals behind, if you have signed yourself out of that partnership, I'm talking about permanent basis, you have signed even an agreement or a divorce or whatever it is, a permanent separation or whatever it is, you are going to cause the biggest narcissistic injury that they can never imagine. They will be pretending. They'll be playing around, you know, because the narcissists, they always want to be on the top. So they'll be pretending, you can leave, you know, whatever it is, I'll find somebody new. But guys, let me guarantee you this. The very moment you have signed that on agreement, on a piece of paper, you have signed out of that partnership for good, permanently. It is going to cause them the biggest injury they have never even expected in their lives. You know what I mean? So you have got to be sure these guys can never recover. It can never happen that they will recover from you, from the loss of an empath. It can't happen. Super empaths are very rare breeds. Let me repeat this. A super empath is a very rare breed. You don't just walk from place to place in a couple of miles or whatever and you find a super empath. These are individuals very, very difficult to find. But if a narcissist has found you, they have used you, they have abused you, they have manipulated you and destroyed you, you have left them, you have signed out of that relationship, you have gone on to recover, you have even elevated yourself, you have grown, you have become better than you was before, and they can see that. If they can see that, most of the cases they are going to see that. They may meet you on the way, they may be sometimes stalking your social media pages or whatever, but if they can see that, guys, I can guarantee you, that is it for the narcissist. And I can guarantee you guys again, you do not want to see a narcissistic injury. When a narcissistic injury has occurred, guys, I can guarantee you, you do not want to look at them. You don't want to see them. If you are an empath and you know who is an empath, you don't want to see a narcissist that has experienced a narcissistic injury. And that is exactly what is going to happen. The very moment you decide enough is enough, you've cut the cords, you've signed and checked out of that partnership or whatever, relationship, marriage or whatever, you've signed out for good. That is exactly when they are going to know it has become real for them, and I can guarantee you they will never recover. So many things will happen. A lot of things will happen. There will be an injury, there will be chaos, there will be drama. Even sometimes, most of the cases, if they have moved on to those individuals, the so-called new sources of supply, those are the guys that are going to actually pay for the price of them losing the empath. They are going to pay. Guys, I can guarantee you the new supply is going to pay for the loss of an empath, for the narcissist losing an empath for good on a permanent basis. I'm talking about this. Whoever is in their vicinity, even if it's a family, the other family members are going to pay. If you have just left your father, your mother, whatever it is, and they were the narcissist, and you've closed the chapter, the other family members in that team, I can guarantee you, they are the ones going to pay for that price. Because the narcissist goes into a rage and a panic mode, they have got to try to find somebody who can replace you. They have got to find a replacement, which is almost, most of the cases, next to impossible. You cannot replace a super empath. That's why most of the cases, I've done the video recently about the downgrade. In most of the cases, they are going to downgrade. They will find somebody who made a little bit seem to look like you, but it cannot happen that they can find a replacement for you. So guys, in this video, I don't want to make it long. Just be confident. If you're an empath out there, super empath or whatever, Heyoka, you have got to know when it's game over, it's game over. You've closed the chapter, you've signed out. That is it. We keep the rules very seriously. We keep the rules and we maintain the rules of no contact serious. For the most of you who have been following me for a while, I've been emphasizing what they mean by no contact. No contact means no contact. If it's supposed to be grey rock, maybe you guys have got some maybe family, kids together, whatever it is. If it's a grey rock situation, you may decide, okay, so every now and then call them. You may want to know about the children, you may want to know about some of the bills you guys share together, maybe mortgages or whatever, finances or whatever, but it has got to be on grey rock method. And very, very limited. So if it has happened like that, you have got to stay out of the narcissist life, because guys, I can guarantee you, if you ever do a mistake of thinking that you can go back there, in those things what they call the Hoover, you can go back there and try even to fix them, or you're trying to get back into those kind of partnerships, relationship, whatever it is going to be the same. There is nothing will ever change, guys. You can never fix those individuals. Those individuals, they are extremely broken, and there's nothing, nobody even can fix them. So in this video, if you have got any comments, guys, in the section below, let yourself be known and what you think about this. Other than that, guys, it's been a short video. I love you all. Much love and blessings, and I'll catch you soon in my next video. Take care now.